Hey guys, back for the next part where we stick all our pieces together. Here's the apple's base and here is the strawberries base, and I was waiting for the phone to charge, so I just did this with back stitch and so that's what you do that, and I just did that in black. I got these are Wonderful threads, and this you can get these from Forage from Lisa Maddock. You can buy them in packs, but you can also buy them individually. So the reddish, the sort of pinkish red color is 608, and the green that I'll be using is 128, and the black is just normal black. I'll be using sort of like a light cream, haven't got that number, but I've got this one, which is EZ01. So yeah, so we're going to be doing a little bit of stitching, and so what this part here is, we're going to be basically basting the stitches down in some of the one that I'm doing for myself personally. I have got some fancier stitches. This is like herringbone here, but most of the basting is done just like a running stitch and all that kind of stuff. This is a little small pistol stitch that I've got there. So yeah, some crosses here, like little crosses, and yeah. So what we're going to be doing is doing the basting, and I'll show you how we're going to be doing that. So we've got it all pinned down, and we really do need to have it pinned down. So that's the strawberries one, that's going to go over there. And so the same concept that I'm doing on the apples one is what you do on the strawberries one. So since I've done the apples, I might start just here, and I've just tied a knot in it. Push that over. And sometimes these pins are good, but they get in the way, so we're just doing a running stitch, which is up and down. And at this point in time, all this I'm doing is just putting it together, and then we do a few more fancier stitches once it's all together. So and for this sort of thing, I want to do, like, this is why I'm doing like a fairly neutral color. You probably can't see it, but which is what I want. Got a fairly long thread, and it doesn't have to be perfect, just up and down, and it gets done pretty quick. So okay, see, already I can go and put this down. So as you you know, putting it down, and see that's holding this part of this down, so that's why they need to overlap each other. So it's going to be holding it down. So what I like about slow stitching, it is quite basic, and at this point in time, just holding it down. I might go back over there and do 2 stitches, but on the apples and on the strawberries, I want to do like a couple of lines. I wouldn't mind doing some lines in between here, like in red, just to highlight it a little bit. So I mean, the only thing with using fabrics and not using flies affix or turning the edges over, it has that, see here, see the fabric is starting to come off, like you get little tufty bits, but that's all the charm of doing this stitching. So I am going to bypass that, go underneath, and I will hold this down. So because I've got a different colour thread in store for here, like it's only just a little bit lighter, and it's the perfect colour for there. So so just up and down, basting it all together. And this is all, like, you don't take this out. Yes, I say basting, but this is also the decorative stitch as well. So but it doesn't have to be complex. You can get out your little different stitches books. I've got a really good one, A to Z of embroidery stitches, which I always use. Right, I think that's in the house. I'm out in the studio at the moment, so now, okay, so we'll go back up. Okay, I'm gonna hold that down with another bit. Now along the edge here, it is more like basting, because all depends what you turn this into. This part here is going to be probably stitched over. All depends on whether you frame it. It won't be stitched over, but if you don't frame it, it will. That'll be the end of it, and then you add a bit on there and you make it into a quilt or whatever it is you want to, or cushion or whatever it is you want to make it into. You can make it into a handbag base, put it on some clothes if you like. There's a few different pieces, bits and pieces you can turn these things into. So okay, might open that. As we get there, take out the pins. So this bit here, like that there, and when I get to there, that's basically, and you can do more stuff in here, but it's basically been held down. And it's one of these things you can do as much or as little as you like I always say in a lot of my projects. So that's why you have a fairly long size thread, because when you're doing it in a similar colour, because the basic background for this is all in the creams, the light colours, so I could get away with doing this creamy colour on here because that's that light background. Probably go the lighter colour here, but on the red and maybe on the green I would probably use green, whereas here I would probably use either that colour, it stands out a little bit, or I can use that lighter colour, but probably going to end up using this colour. I think quite like it. Okay, so once again I can take that out. I mean, I haven't zoomed in the thing because this is a basic stitch, so you really don't need to see up close for this. Okay, once I get to that, I'll bring it up and show you and then continue on, just basting, well, stitching actually, all the way around. Like continue on the top here, holding it down. The sooner you can get rid of the pins, the better. So you see, you can probably just see it. You can see it on the back. See the stitching, and that's that dirty bit of, you know, a little stain that had on there because it was a napkin. But you can see where I've basted it around. So, well, what I'll do is I'll continue along there, and I'll probably go down there, and then I'm going to use this lighter one just to do a running stitch to hold that down, and maybe when I'm on here I'll come back, and might probably do, you know, maybe some crosses as well, sort of. At the moment, like I was saying, it's just holding it together, and then we can do a few more, like I want to do that on the apples, you know, use that there, and maybe do a few more fancier stitches with different colors. So yeah, so that's basically what we're doing now. So I'll turn it off for a little bit and do a little bit more, and then I'll come back when we're on a different color. Okay guys, back again. I've just done, too close, because I'm nice and close, I zoomed it in a little bit. I've just stitched all around the outside in the lighter bits. I stitched on, like, across there, and then I sort of stitched on here to hold those bits down as well. Stitched around here, that in the lighter bit. Now I've done that here in this green. Oop. And then I'm going to be coming back. So I'll just turn that upside down, and I'm going to do just a couple of cross stitches there. I'm not sure whether I think the apple might be there, but we'll just see. That's why I sort of don't really want to do any decorative stitches until I know for sure. Here it is. That you know, I'll be able to see them. So you really probably ought to wait, but you just go across like that, and then come back out here. I'm going to do a couple of, and go back down and up again. Just do a couple of crosses. Make it a little bit more interesting, and they can be various sizes. They don't have to be all the same size. Okay. I usually like to do either 3 or 5, so we'll see how we go. I might do 5. Come up. Yep. Hopefully you guys can see this. It's just rather tricky because I've zoomed in, so it's a bit harder for me. I've got to have my hands forward. Okay, that one's a fairly big one. Okay. Then another one. And then back down, and then up here, and we'll finish off with a bit of a running stitch to finish that off. Okay, and down, and to finish, see, it just has this little thing. What I usually do is I go underneath and catch it, loop, done. because it's the back. So you can sort of see from the back where I've gone all the way around. So at this point it is, oh, see, that didn't quite catch that, but that's okay because we have got something going over the top of that. So oh, this is thread there. So I've got a red threaded up, and we are going to go, I'll start here, and I'll start with a bit of a running stitch. But then I'm going to do a few of these type of stitches. It's just giving it a bit of character, and I try and do some short ones and fairly close-ish together because it's got that anyway, and make sure that you get all of the layers. So I won't do this all the way up. I'll probably a few more. Because the apple's going to be there and it probably won't see this stitch. So now, so that stops there, and then I'll just continue on with a running stitch, so that's being held down. I may do more of that on the end, I think, so that you can actually see it again. It does take up a little bit extra thread, but that's okay. Quite like that look, and I love the colour. It's a really nice colour. Okay. So I might do that again and go and do this stitch all the way to the end, probably, just to give a bit of conduciveness. I'll keep that pin in there because actually I might put the pin a little bit over. There we go. This is a really simple but effective stitch. I quite like it. Okay, this is how we just get a bit of variety from doing the same old day. Okay. Oh. It's the only trouble when it gets a bit long. It cannot. Okay. Do a couple more, and then I'll continue on with the running all the way around. And once I've done this, okay, just do a running stitch up here, and then I'll go to the edge, and then I'll be back. Okay, I'll finish that off in a sec. I'll turn off the camera and finish it off. Then we are going to put this down. So with this, we will use that thread again, and just try and put it. See this? Remember this bit was a bit. I want to try and put it in the corner as much as I can. A bit of an angle. But not too far down, because when we do make this into something, then we get pins, which I can put down here. Might put it down that way. So it's going to go through all the layers. And then we put that on. Okay, and that'll be done with that stitch. I pin all these down. You want that to hold down pretty well. There's a few layers across here. Whoop. You've got to be really careful. You don't want it to pucker up too much. So I'm just pinning it down. I might just grab a few layers. Okay. Now, whoop. So that goes on there. And we're going to stitch around that. This is a terrible, terrible pin. I think that one needs to just go straight in the bin. And when pins don't pin, not worthy of keeping. If you're not going to do your job, what you're designed for, forget it. Now, okay, so that will be stitched down there, and then I just want to see where all these are going to end up. So that'll be there. That's there. So I really did need to make sure that I had the apples stitched down so it wasn't too near each other. And then, see, well, I'm covering up that, so that's why. And then I'll have those there like that, then like this, that goes like this. And then there's one thing that I forgot to put in the pattern, which is a little annoying. I forgot, this is why we have the things, you see how in the pattern it's got a little bit of a dip just in here. So that's that bit there. So I'm trying to, bits that you do sew on first are the leaves. So you've got to fiddle around and put them in where you want them. So you sew on the big one first, and then coming from here, where's my pin? I forgot to do, where is it? On the back of there, you just go like this, like that, little loop, and then down like that. So that's a stem. So that one will probably go that way. That one can go that way, and I think that one goes that way. So if you don't want to do that little, do it as thick, you can just do one line and do a French knot on the top, and do stem stitch, which is actually a little bit thicker. So where are we? There we go. So here you can see that and that. And what I will see, I want to do that stitching so that when I do do the stitches along here. I know I don't have to do it underneath there, or I can do all the red stitching first and then put this on top. So we'll see. So well, this is the part that we're up to at the moment. I'm umming and ahhing. I really do like the red, so I'm wondering whether I am going to be doing that. I've still got this, where is it, that little piece that I had put there, which I was thinking of using, which I still might, and I can use the red to stitch that on, and it doesn't matter that it's like that because it will be covered by the apple. I think I might do that because it just covers it up. I could have it coming out here. I think I may. So that's going to be like that, so you don't have to use it. Yeah, I like that. That gives it a real cute look, so you don't have to always use it. So there you go. Stitching on the fly, and then I may end up, I'm going to cut it because I just think it's too big and I just want a little apple. So I'm just going to maybe get another little piece like that and do this and that, so that way you still see the red. And I'm going to stitch around there I'll stitch that down in green, and that'll be stitched down. So there we go. So that's the setup that we are going to do. So remember to do the stem where that little dip is, and you've got to start with that first. So that's where I've decided that's going to go. We pin that down and we put them down, and then over the top of that stitch, then I would do the stem, then you put that over the top, and you actually stitch, funnily enough, you stitch these in the black, either black or a dark brown, it's up to you, but I've got quite a bit of, I'm going to use the dark brown in here for the seeds, and I'm just going to do a stem stitch and fill them in. So that is the progress of that. So hopefully you've got the idea of what we want to do, and I'll come back and show you. So I'll just finish that off there and make a little bit of a start. We've got the yeah, I'll have to come back to do a little bit more because it's already like 28 minutes. I can just show you, and we'll do it like a running stitch around there. Do that around there, then stick that on there. But we're just going to do a running stitch, either a running stitch or like a little tacking stitch, which is sort of like that except for really small. So up to you. Okay, well that's it for that one, and I will be back with the strawberry one by the time you see me next time. All the base line and all that, you know, the green stitching, blah blah blah, the basic stuff that I've done here today, that'll be all done. I'll have done that, and then I'll show you how I put on all the extra bits and pieces. So there you go. Okay guys, yeah, hope you understand what I've done there, and I'll be back to do a little bit more. I just don't want to make the videos too long at this point. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.